What's up, Union Arena players? This is Kyle D, better known as Universities, and today we have a market watch. All the rare cards are starting to touch market, so I figured it's a good time to do a market watch about it, shall we? So taking a look, Yuji Itadori is coming down to $23, which is good to see. We kind of want him to start falling down because he's been a little bit pricey for the last little bit, but that's just because, again, major events coming up, classified best deck of the format and everything like that kind of exploded him when he originally was 15, which is kind of understandable. It feels like sometimes that just happens with good cards, especially when they were kind of cheap. So it's good to see that he's now down to 23s to 24s, which, okay, we can work with. Then we do have Maki Zenin at $4 a pop going down. And again, this is what happens when we get a new set. People are going to offload decks that they didn't really want to play. And especially once the rare battles are over, I feel like we're going to see a lot of influx of decks that weren't originally here. And we're going to see an influx of cards, and people are just going to move off of it until they're ready to build again. So this is stuff you need to take in consideration, especially with the market, is that when you're looking at things and you need to get play sets and everything like that, once players are off these things, they're going to come down and fall down fast. Then we have Sukuna's Fingers, common 1-star, that's at $27, $28, going down a little bit. It's starting to tick down because, again, that's probably the same thing that's happening. Once these rare battles gone through, a lot of players are not going to keep cards that they weren't really trying to max rarity or anything like that. They'll just move it and make some money. Then we do have Nubara. Nubara's at $5, guys. I knew she was going to come back down. I told you guys, if you guys really didn't need her right away, don't waste your money on her. She's going to fall back down. She has fallen back down nicely. If you guys need from Neo non-X0 non-zero here, $3.70 if you can actually add it to your cart. Yes, you can. So there is a shot here, especially if you can get a few other things you might need, but Nubara's at 5s. Now take a look here. We have Kurapika, Hunter. This thing's starting to tick up, guys. Not crazily, but it is starting to climb back up. Players are starting to realize that the deck hasn't gone anywhere yet. And I feel like until we get to One Punch Man, this deck isn't fully disappearing. I mean, One Piece could not One Piece. Blah. Code Geass might actually be able to outpace Kurapika to the point where it phases out. But if aggro decks are going to be more and more common, Kurapika definitely is a little bit slower just because it is a 7 cost. Yes, it takes some time to set up, everything like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, $15 is no surprise here. It's going to just keep climbing up. Then let's take a look here. Rukia, super rare 1-star, up to $30, up to 33s, going to 40s again. This is kind of interesting. Let's see what's happening here. So taking a look here, it's been selling around the 16s, and then all of a sudden all the 16s kind of disappeared, moved to 28s, the 30s. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I kind of expected this. You know, Rukia is still going to see play going in the future. She's not going anywhere. And I feel like players should pick up her copies and make sure you're ready for her when Volume 2 comes. Because again, when you have max rarity pieces that you want to make sure you have, she is one of those ones that you want to make sure you have at the long term. Gojo 1-star rare. This thing's at for $12, which isn't terrible. Could be a lot worse. We got some sales. At least they're selling in the 9s to 10s range, which makes it a little bit more comfortable to try to get these in the 10s or less. So again, Gojo rares are really solid. Now let's take a look. Kento Namami super rare 1-star. We're looking at $8.45 and going down. I think people are sleeping on Namami. Kento Namami very comfortably. I think it's just a different play style. And if you guys dedicate your deck to playing the Kento in a certain way, as long as your deck is 15 or less, you're in a good spot. We're at 10s to 12s, which is really solid. Then we have Neon Hunter. We're at $5 a pop, you know, 5 to 6s. which is not terrible, expected, because again, Kurapika is one of the better decks in the format. Still tops and will stop probably until we get code. Now let's take a look. Kenpachi Zaraki, super rare 1-star. This is another card you should probably start snagging before it's too late. This thing deck definitely gets a lot better once we are in volume 2, which we know is in May. And again, something you just pick up a couple copies at a time and then you're just ready, you know? Then let's take a look here. Mahito Jujutsu Kaisen, 90 cents going up, going to $1.24, $1.25, $1.50s. Okay, good that Mahito is starting to go up a little bit. I think, to be honest with you, people are sleeping on Mahito. Mahito is actually a really solid deck, especially in the rare battles. I think it has a little bit better standings against, you know, everything but Gojo. I think it can play quite well into the field. Then you have Shunshui, rare 1-star. We're at $9 a pop. No surprise there. Then we have Geto. Geto 1-star rare is at $3.70. Not surprising. I mean, players might want to get him for the future, and being so cheap, I think that's might be a good investment, you know? Yuji Itadori rare battles. People have been snagging them up at the $35 mark. They definitely snagged them up and were willing to pay 48s, 37s. Yeah, it's up to you how you want to handle this, and I'm going to be straight honest with you. This can be either hit or miss, and it depends on if you guys need something fully at the end of the day, right? I mean, if you guys can wait it out, this is classified one of the max rarity pieces because, again, winning this is a lot harder than actually, you know, pulling it from a pack. So you have to be good at the game to be able to do this. I mean, if you only have 4 players and they just give it to you, then yeah, that's probably the easiest way of getting it. But if you guys are playing it out at events, these definitely are a little bit harder. Gon is going to be probably one of the cheaper ones because at the end of the day, yes, it is played in its respected deck, but to be honest with you, the Gon deck is not that strong enough, in my opinion, in the meta. So this is just one of those, you know, people are going to wait to pick this up if they do. So, you know, $36 is nothing. Ichigo Kurosakis are at $40 for this version, which, don't get me wrong, I think that's actually pretty solid of a price because we know that Ichigos are going to sell well. And again, this is another chance at a really looking clean card. Then you have Yuji Itadori winners holding strong at 100. No sales yet. We had 150 at one point, but $100 is kind of where everybody's at. Then we have Gon winners at 115. Nobody's picking it up. So I expect this to probably reach 80s, if not less. Ichigo Kurosaki winners. Did any of them sell? No, nothing. So 130, 140. I don't know if they'll sell for that price. Maybe if you list them for 100, you might be able to sell them if you have them. Suzaku gold border shenanigans, $40. No sales yet. And again, I think there's a silver and a gold version. I think the gold one's a little bit harder to pull. So then you have gold Toshiro Hitsugaya, $41, holding strong, guys, and people are willing to pay that price. So just be ready for when the gold boys start moving. Gold is looking at $37. Wow, 36, 35s. I know there is a silver version, so there are going to be 2 of the exact same. One will have a silver border, one will have the gold. Gold is going to be the more coveted. Yuji Itadori gold, $34. I pulled this one in my pack, and I pulled a, whatchamacallit, the other card. I pulled, what's the other card, guys? Suzaku. That is what I pulled. So again, 34s, not moving. Again, I expect these to come down. A lot of players are probably selling them in the 15s on the marketplaces. So if you guys really want to get these cards, you'll probably be able to snag them there. Then you have Rangiku common 1-star. We're at $26, which is no surprise here. She's definitely going to fall down, and I'm going to see her fall down more and more. Then you have Renji Abarai, super rare 1-star, $19 to $18. No surprise, he's just going to hold a value long term. Then you have Jugurum 2-star super rare. We're at 54s and going down. 60s, but remember this thing trying to sell for 80s. It's going to keep coming down. I wouldn't be surprised if this SIG goes down way more and more until they do something with Jugurum's deck and make it more consistent and more valued. I mean, if you guys really want to have this card and just want to be a long-term hold, this would be one of those cards. Byakuchi super rares holding strong in the 90s, but going down, guys. This thing used to be expensive. I was glad that I sold mine when I did because I made a decent turnaround. Ichigo Kurosaki super rare 1-star. We're at 25s to 26s. No surprise here. This card looks clean, and again, it's not the rare battle art though. That's kind of upsets me. I know that it's the 2-star rare that they're using for that, but I have this one at $25. It's not bad. You have multiple options, and I like having my options. I did kind of pay for this back in the beginning, but that was just because I really wanted it. And now I kind of understand the market a little bit better, that I'm not going to invest as heavily in max rarity pieces until they've been out for a bit and then get my money's worth. Because again, you're not going to make your money's worth in this game. It never really kind of does that. And if you guys are trying to do that, it kind of gets tough. You know, a lot of sellers aren't used to an economy where it's very cheap and they're expecting to make big buck profit. And, you know, that's just kind of the, you know, what it happens. So, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.